Hey everybody, welcome to the Texas Rangers Minor League Roundup. This is the fourth one of these.
Yeah. I think
it's been a good idea that what we were
doing. They've been well received too. We've had good downloads and good listens and views, and it's a unique show. You know, it's about the Rangers farm system.
It's exactly what we're going to talk
Nobody
about.
does it with the guests that we get on and the information we have. So thanks for accepting us.
Well, this is exclusive minor league show, but now sometimes these minor leaguers will be on the big show, just because that happens and maybe things that happen. Today, though, we're going to have Frisco Rough Rider Josh Hatcher is going to join us, one of the best hitters in the Frisco lineup. Also, we're going to have left-handed pitcher Mitch BRATT. The Canadian, our favorite Canadian.
That's right.
Is going to be joining us also, playing for the Hickory Crawdads. Might be in Frisco soon, so we got to catch him now because maybe he's going to get promoted.
That's right. But before and the after here.
So I'm going to do what I do on the big league show. So if you watch both of them, you want to fast forward through this to get to the players, that's fine. But we're going to go over each record and kind of talk about what's going on in the minor leagues. Round Rock Express, everybody's starting their second part of the season right now. Round Rock Express are 1-2. That's 3 games in. They haven't just played 3 games for the season. Obviously, this is the second half. They're 1-2. They won their last game. We got to talk about there, really. I mean, we got.
It's the big name is Jack Leiter. Everybody knows that, and he had that great outing.
Well, Ezekiel Duran's there
last week. Well, Ezekiel Duran is there now, but from a prospect perspective, I know people might get a little worn out talking about Jack Leiter, but I don't think you should. He's just, this is a natural step in the progression of a guy, and he is making the most of this step. He's in a pitcher's league where or not a pitcher's league. It's a hitter's league. You go to ballparks where the ball flies out. You're facing guys who are older than you, who have big league time, all of this stuff. And Jack is pitching really well. He pitched twice last week. The second one wasn't quite as good, but there were some errors in there, and it was just kind of a short outing, to kind of like a bullpen day, so he didn't have to go so long between starts. So I say it every time we talk about him. Guy's not a bust. Stop talking like that. Have some patience. Understand player development, that all players come at their own stage. And Jack Leiter has taken a very significant leap forward so far this season. Forget about what happened in the major leagues. Look at the big picture. Yep. All right. That's me on my soapbox. Thank you very much. The one thing that we do have to mention is that this team just doesn't hit for power. It's a hitter's league. And the team leader in home runs is Derek Hill,
who's a big leaguer,
who's in the major leagues again. He was promoted to the big leagues for the first time this year in late May with 8 home runs. He still has 8 home runs. It's still the team lead. So you're wondering what's going on. I know the Rangers are wondering why they aren't hitting for a lot of power. It's something that
they're dead balls.
It's something that they're going to be talking about until this turns around, and they're going to try to get it turned around. But our buddy Blaine Krim had a big hit last night. He's producing runs. He's still not quite where he probably wants to be with the numbers, but all this guy does is hit. That's all he's done throughout his career. So we're always going to be a big fan, big fans of Mr. Krim. Justin Foscue he was rehabbing there. The Ranger, he finished his 20 days. He had to get off the 60-day IL. Rangers reinstated him, put him back on the 40, then optioned him to Round Rock, where he is playing a lot of first base. He played some second base also, so he's got the right side of the infield nailed down, sharing spots there. I'm sure he'll have some DH days, but it's good to see him back. He basically missed 2.5 months with a I think it was an oblique injury that happened. The pitch before, or the swing before he got his first major league hit. So, hopefully he's back soon. If
If he tears it up there, he's going to be back in the big leagues.
And if the Rangers continue to struggle against left-handers, maybe he becomes a platoon partner with Nathaniel Lowe, something like that. Yeah. But right now, it looks like the Rangers are trying to get Lowe going. But that's neither here or there.
That's big league talk.
That's big league talk. Sorry.
Let's go down to Double-A. The Frisco Rough Riders. Again, there's only 3 games starting the second season. They're 2-1, 1-1 last night. We had a couple promotions to Double-A.
We did, and
they're starting to happen now.
Yeah, Winston Santos,
who's been lights out,
who was great at Hickory. He was the Rangers pitcher of the month in April, where he had like an 0.44 ERA. He has been promoted to Frisco. He spent all of last season in Hickory and made some adjustments. His fastball is playing a lot better, and so he's produced. He's probably maybe mature for that league, and that it's his second go round. So he has been promoted, and he's earned it. Also promoted was Skylar Hales, the 4th round pick last year from Santa Clara, the school that produced Steve Nash. I mean, known more for its hoops than its baseball, but give him some credit. He had a really shaky start to the season. He's come back strong. This dude throws 100 miles an hour. All right. And he has a good secondary pitch, a good breaking ball. So he's been working. He was working as the Hickory closer. He has the pedigree. He has the body. He has the stuff. He has the formula for a closer. And it looks like, just kind of reading tea leaves here, that the Rangers see that as his role. And hey, if you can develop your own young closer, look at the A's with Mason Miller. The Indians acquired one from the Rangers, Emmanuel Clase. But hey, let's keep an eye on this guy. He's a Double-A, and he looks like he's moving pretty quick.
Okay, and speaking of Double-A Frisco, we are going to go to Josh Hatcher right now, to Frisco Rough Rider, and Josh will be joining us right after this.
The guest segment is brought to you by Autograph, the app that brings the fans to the game. And hey, speaking of Autograph, they are doing a giveaway for 2 tickets to the All-Star Game and Home Run Derby.
Wow.
Yeah, at Globe Life Field. Here's the catch. You have to be registered by noon Pacific time, so 2 p.m. Central on July 2nd, which is Tuesday. Here's how you do it. Fans must refer 2 friends and use 100 fan coins. Every referral after 2 is an additional entry to the giveaway. So if you refer 4 friends, you get 3 entries. So check out additional details at autograph.io/blog. And there will be a special link to download the app and get registered for the promotion in the description of this episode. So our friends at Autograph, check them out. It's a great ad. You can find Rangers Today stories and podcasts there. Check it out. It's really a fan-friendly site.
All right, guys, and joining us out from Frisco, where the Frisco Rough Riders are in town, it's Frisco Rough Rider first baseman and outfielder Josh Hatcher. Josh, what's going on, bud?
Not a whole lot. Just hanging in there.
Chilling, enjoying this nice Texas weather.
That's right, enjoying that heat right when you wake up.
I got to tell you, I've said this before. I think Riders Field is one of the hottest places on the face of the planet. When it's on the wrong day, it can get a little steamy down there. If the wind's not blowing, it can be pretty miserable. But you can say that about anywhere, I guess. But it gets hot.
It gets hot.
Yeah, it's a different kind of heat. Now, you grew up in Georgia, maybe a little more humidity. How do they compare? How does
a lot more humidity in South Georgia, where I'm from, where I grew up. I actually like the humidity. It's like not tough to me. Like, I'm kind of used to it, I was there for 20 years, something like that. And then the Texas heat and like the Arizona spring training heat, it's just hot. Like, the wind's hot when it's blowing. Yeah. It's like a blow dryer. You're just in an oven, like you're just baking. You can't. There's not really shade. There's not a lot of clouds out here, so you just can't get away from it.
Yeah, a couple years ago, right out of the All-Star break, I went to Arizona to see Josh Young, who was rehabbing from, I guess, the shoulder surgery. I'm kind of losing track at this point, but it was 114 that day, and it was like your skin stings.
Yes,
That's how hot it is, and it's ridiculous. And yet those poor kids are out there. I mean, first pitch, Dane Acker pitched in that game. He was rehabbing from Tommy John, and God dang it, he was just out there warming up, doing his normal warm up, but it was so hot. So it's a different level than even here. So anyway, speaking of hot, you were the Rangers' April Player of the Year in the minor leagues. You were going to cool off a little, but you're still right about 300. What is working for you this season?
I mean, honestly, probably just an approach I cleaned up a little bit, and then the mental aspect of things.
Okay, so what did you clean up with your approach?
So there was like a small minor adjustment that me and some of the hitting guys got together on that I need to work on during the off season. Just a little thing with my connection with my lower half to my upper half, and that was my main focus this off season for the 3.5 months that I was back in Georgia, and I feel like it's really paying dividends right now.
How do you did they came to you late in the season or after the season? Was there a point where when do they talk this through with you?
There was a point right after the season. I got on a Zoom with, our hitting coach here in Frisco, Ryan Tuntlin, and then with some of the hitting coordinators with Connor Gunn and Cody Atkinson, and we talked for a little while and just reflected on the season. What went well, what I needed to work on, and then what some of my off-season training should look like.
Okay, so are you happy with the results?
I am. Very happy.
Okay, good. Looks like they're trying to find a position for you. Looks like you've played most of your games in right field. You've played some first base. Shoot, I even saw a game in center. How comfortable where are you most comfortable, I guess?
I would say I'm most comfortable playing first, just because that's where I've played my whole life. But my last year of college, I played outfield. I played center field at Kennesaw State, and then last year I think I played outfield maybe. I don't even think I played double-digit games in the outfield last year, and then most in right field this year, like you said. But I'm a lot more comfortable in the outfield now than I was this time last year.
I mean, it's got to be hard going from the dirt to where you're covering a lot less ground to reading fly balls, having to judge wins, things like that. How much time did it take for you to get to this comfort level?
It took a while. There was an adjustment period in Arizona in spring training. I did a lot of work in the outfield, and to me, that's the hardest place to play outfield is out in Arizona. Extremely high skies and everything going on out there. But I would say I got really comfortable out there probably after the first 2 weeks of the season. Just getting my feet wet out there and in game-like action, and getting used to playing beside guys in center field like Kellen, how they play and how much ground he can cover and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, you're right. You talk about Arizona. Bruce Bochy even said it this spring. Past managers have said it every spring when a guy like Wyatt Langford is out there trying to learn the outfield. You see major league veteran Gold Glovers lose balls in Arizona because it's so dang bright, and also the ball just travels so much. I mean, if you're going to learn how to play outfield, you might as well go to hell on earth and figure it out.
Right.
Yeah. So you're having success. The team had a lot of success. You guys won the first half. You're going to the playoffs. What you kind of look at this roster, and it looks like you guys just know how to win. So what's the chemistry like? It seems like this team is really big on chemistry.
Yeah, we're huge on chemistry. I've said this before. I feel like we have the perfect blend of, guys who have been here for a year or two. We got guys who are just now coming in, moving up, first year starting in AA, and then we got some younger guys. We got a few older guys, and we're really big on just being a team and trusting in each other. It's kind of hard to relate to guys in the minor leagues. You got a tremendous age fluctuation on certain teams. There could be guys anywhere from 19 to 30 years old on the same team, and you got guys who can speak English, you got guys who can't speak English, and then you got guys who like to do certain things, who don't like to do certain things. But I feel like in our clubhouse, we found a common ground on what we really like to do and how we can relate to people. And I just feel like we have a really big family connection in there, and we truly want to play for each other, and we love each other and want to see people have success other than ourselves.
I think a lot of that goes to the manager, and you've known Carlos for a while. How good is he at creating that chemistry?
Phenomenal. I feel like he's one of the best at it. It is the most comfortable clubhouse and setting I've ever been in. He makes it tremendous to play for him, and not only to play for him, but he's the type of guy that doors always open. If you need him, he's there. Walk in and talk about whatever you need: baseball, off the field, family, girlfriend, wives, pets, whatever it is. He's that guy. And when you have somebody like that who you can truly trust, then I feel like that takes everybody's game to a different level.
That's awesome. John, we kind of split up the show. When we have you on the big show, we'll get a lot more in depth. But I asked those hard hitting baseball questions like you just had to field. John here gets to ask some of the lighter questions and kind of get to know Josh Hatcher. So John, take it away.
Well, you grew up you went to Lee High School in where's that you grew up in?
Georgia.
Georgia, I know that, but is it Leesburg,
Yeah.
Georgia? Right, you went to Lee High School. Hey, you're a baseball player. Did you play any other sports while you were in high school?
Not like team sports in a team setting, but me and my group of best friends, we love to play basketball, golf, whatever it is. So like we play those sports a lot, but just not in like a team environment.
So no football, basketball, nothing like that. You were just pure baseball.
Yeah. Football at Lee County is it's a different animal. They got state championships like 2 years in a row, state championship appearances like 3-4 years in a row. Facilities better than most D1 schools. Like, I was too small to play high school there.
Who in any players we heard of come out of there? Any football players?
So there was right now he plays for the Tennessee Titans. His name's Otis Reese.
Okay.
I think he's a safety for them. He was a rookie last year. Played a lot for them. I'm trying to think. There's another guy starting in the NFL. He was a linebacker for the Steelers last year.
Okay. So this is a football factory.
Yes, it is.
Okay. So you came. So now it says you were drafted out of high school in the 39th round. Of course, you didn't sign. You ended up going to Mississippi State. Right. You played with Foscue, right? Was Foscue there with you?
Yes. Me and Foscue were the same class. I was there for 3 years with him.
Okay. So we've had Justin on a few times, so I know you guys are probably buddies from there. I was actually in Starkville. I've got a son that'll be a senior in high school this coming fall. He's looking there, and he's not a ball player. He's just looking to go to school. I liked it. Let's see. What's it called? Dewey's? Is that a place? Dewey's?
Dewey's, Little Dewey's.
Little Dewey's. We ate there. That's the beer joint and the hamburger joint, and that was a pretty neat place. Starkville's pretty cool. Now the whole town is basically Mississippi State.
Yeah, the whole town is all 100% Mississippi State University. Everybody knows who you are.
Yeah, and the softball team was playing while we were there. Baseball wasn't, but that baseball stadium, I walked in and looked at it. I hear the outfield there. The fans are nuts.
They're nuts. Yep.
Did you have any other schools you thought of? I mean, you went to Mississippi State, so maybe you had other offers?
So my sophomore year of high school, I was actually committed to Kennesaw State University, which is where I ended up going to finish my career. But then I decommitted my junior year of high school, and the two schools that I was looking at was either going to be Mississippi State or Florida State, because where I'm from in Georgia, I'm an hour and a half from Florida State University. I'm down in the bottom left corner of Georgia.
Yeah.
Tallahassee's right there, and that was really my dream school growing up, because it's the closest college to us, and my dad used to take me to games there all the time. Buster Posey,
sure,
went to my high school.
Really?
Went to Lee County, ended up going to Florida State, and then so that was kind of like my path that I had chosen for myself that I wanted to go. And then once I decommitted from Kennesaw State, then I went to Mississippi State, and then I already knew like Florida State's facilities, what they were about, everything, and then so it just kind of boiled down to those two, and I ended up choosing Mississippi State.
How close are you to Auburn?
I'm about an hour and a half away from Auburn as well.
Yeah, because down in that part, it's
how far from Mississippi State? It was further away. I'm assuming.
I mean,
it was about five and a half.
Okay.
It's 8 hours from me than when we drove there. We drove there in 8 hours. So
you go to Jackson and go north?
We spent the night in Jackson just because we got there late at night. We had an appointment the next morning, and I think Jackson was about an hour away from.
Makes sense.
Is that about right?
About an hour south, hour.
Yeah, something like that, and did that. So let me ask this: so you were drafted in the 39th round out of high school. Then you ended up going to Kennesaw State. You had an extra year of eligibility. You go play there. Drafted in the 10th round. Now, I know you weren't in New York during the draft, but tell us about both of those. How do you find out you're drafted in the 39th round, and how do you find out you're drafted in the 10th round?
They don't even have 39 rounds anymore.
I know.
Yeah, they don't have that round anymore. But, in high school, I feel like the biggest thing is money. That makes the decision for you coming out of high school, because, if pro ball doesn't work out, then you have something to lean on. You didn't go to college, you didn't have that education, you don't have that degree to lean back on. But so going into the draft, I had like a set number, and nobody met it. So then, like the last day of the draft, the scout in Georgia for the Angels texted me and he was just like, "Hey, we're just gonna take you in the 39th round. Like, I know you're not gonna sign, but I feel like you deserve to hear your name called in this draft," stuff like that. And then
that's cool.
And then in the 10th round, I was at my apartment in Kennesaw. It was me, my fiance, and my dad, and we were just sitting there, and we're watching the draft day 2, and I had a few people text me saying, like, I have a chance to go in the 7th through the 10th round as a senior sign to save some money. And then so, like, the seventh round goes by, the 8th round goes by, and I didn't hear anything. And then the 9th round goes by, and a scout that I know with the Rangers texted me and was like, "Hey, we may take you in the 9th or 10th round as a senior sign. Like, will you take blah, 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 X amount of money?" And I was like, absolutely. And so the 9th round comes by, and we took a senior shortstop from Georgia State right down the road, who I played against, who's now one of my really good friends, Griffin Chaney.
Right.
So when that happened, I was kind of upset, because I was like, they're not going to take 2 senior signs like 2 senior position players back to back rounds. So I walked outside. I was sitting on the porch with my fiance, and we were just talking or whatever. And then my dad walks outside, and he's like, "Hey, the Rangers just took you in the 10th round. Like, congratulations." So
Very cool.
Yeah, the 2022 draft was kind of interesting because the Rangers had forfeited, as you know, 2 draft picks to get Simeon and Seager.
Right.
And so they signed Rocker for below slot. Then they signed Brock Porter. So they had to save some money.
Yeah.
So, and that's kind of the, kind of the business of the draft, I guess.
Yeah.
People don't realize, but, you're not going to turn down the opportunity for Major League Baseball.
No,
exactly.
So,
you're not going to turn down pro ball. You're ready to go. And if the number's right, that's awesome.
Hey, I was talking to Ross Fencermaker the other day, and I think he said that you have a lucky dog.
Yeah.
Tell me about your lucky dog.
All right, so I have 2 dogs. I have a little Pomeranian, a little white.
Okay.
Her name's Paris, and then I have a big, fluffy, goofy golden doodle, and his name's Apollo. And him and both my dogs and my fiance, they lived with me for this entirety of the season so far. They actually just left yesterday morning because my fiance is going down to Bradenton, Florida to start dental school. She'll be in dental school for the next 4 years. But so it actually started my last year at college. The guy who lived with us, it was just me, him, and my fiance, and he's one of my best friends from high school. I've known him forever, but he loves the golden doodle, Apollo, and he would always come in and before we would leave to go to the field, he'd be like, "Hold up, I have to rub my feet on Apollo so I can do good today." And I was just like, "Yeah, haha, like all right, like do it." And he would do it, and he was getting all these hits, and I was like, "Dang, it really work." And then so this year, it was against Amarillo. It was the week that I homered 3 games in a row, and the first day before I left, I'm talking to Apollo, and I'm like, "Come here," and like I rub my face on him, like I rub my feet on him. I'm like, "Give me some good luck." So we go. I hit a home run, and then the next day, my fiance's like, "Well, you have to do it again." I was like, "Yeah." So before I leave, I rub my face on him, rub my feet on him. I'm like, "Give me some good luck, man." And I hit another home run, and then the next day I'm at the field. And my fiance texted me and was like, "Hey, we're about to walk by. You have to come up and rub your feet on him." I'm like, "All right." So I go up to the top to go outside, and the dog's there, and I'm rubbing my feet on him and rubbing my face on him, and Ross walks by, and he's like, "What's going on with the lucky dog? Like, well, like what's the dog?" And I'm like. And I told him the story that I just told y'all, and he's like, "Well, we may have to make a doghouse in the clubhouse then." So that's the story with the dog.
Now, did the dog go with her to dental school, or is he still with you?
He went with her to dental school. He did.
All right. Well, you'll have to rub your feet on him from.
You're gonna have to
from afar.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do Zoom calls every night or every day. And,
yeah. FaceTime calls every single day before I head to the field.
Yeah.
What's your fiance's name? And
her name's Riley.
I'm sorry.
Her name's Riley.
When are you getting hitched?
We don't have a date set yet, but we're looking at December because that's when she has about 2 weeks off from school for a little break, and then obviously we'll be in the off season then in December. So
nice. Well, congratulations on that. That's awesome.
Did you meet her at Kennesaw, or did you meet her at Mississippi State? Where'd you meet her?
I've known her since middle school. Me and her.
Perfect.
Okay, so you met her in.
Fantastic. That's a great story. I love that stuff.
That's great. All right. So she's put up with you a long time. This is going to work.
Yeah, a long time.
Anything else?
No, but thanks for coming on. It was good talking to you. We keep saying we're going to go out to Frisco. We got to do it. I mean, we're right down the street. Love talking to you guys.
My son was there the other night. I had my teenager was there the other night.
Carlos keeps telling me to bring my son. He's going to hit him grounders. I don't know. there's an ethical thing there that I got to get over. But if the manager says to do it, I don't think anybody's going to argue. So
right.
Look forward to meeting you face to face.
Yeah, man. Next time we're out, we will. I'll look you up. Had a few of your teammates on. I always go down and say hello when we're there. But maybe if I get there early enough, I'll stay around the cage at batting practice. I always come down and try to do that. But man, it's hot. You guys hit.
It is.
The air conditioning over it.
We're spoiled by the roof over here. All right, man.
Hey, that's Josh Hatcher. Right after this, we come back. We'll have Mitch Bratt a little later, and we're going to go down and talk about the lower minor leagues right after this. Thanks, Josh.
Thank y'all.
Big thanks to Josh Hatcher for joining us right there. Let's go down. We're going to go down in the lower section of the full season minor league season. We got Hickory Crawdads. Again, they played a few more games than the other. They're 2-4 and they lost one. They've also got a few promotions.
They have 3 new players, and they have our good buddy Alejandro Rosario, the right-handed pitcher who was the 5th round pick last year. Cole Drake, a left-hander who if you look at their 2 numbers at Down East, just fabulous guys, a little bit older, probably mature for the level. They deserve the promotion. And then Glider Figueiredo, the 3rd baseman.
Already hit a home run
for Hickory. He was a Down East most productive hitter. It was his 2nd season at Down East. Time for a new challenge for him. The key there is the Rangers need to find playing time for him, Sebastian Walcott, and Cam Colley. On that left side of the infield, you could see Figueroa maybe playing some second base. Athletic guy. He's a little bit bigger, but he's an athletic guy. But
he's the only one that had some power down East before he got there.
Pitching still carrying this team, though. Sebastian Walcott's been fabulous lately. Unbelievable month of June for him. Still only 18. The Rangers are thrilled with what they're seeing from him. But pitching, even though Winston Santos is gone, Joseph Montalvo, Mitch Bratt, who we're going to have on here in a couple minutes. You throw in Drake, you throw in Rosario, you have Ryan Lobos, who had already been promoted this year. Our good friend Aiden Curry is still toiling away, figuring things out and pitching a little bit better than he did early in the season. So this is still a pitching first team, despite the surge by Walcott, the addition of Figueiredo. You have some struggles here, obviously, offensively with this team all season. It can go month to month. Jason Morabel, who was so good in May, he's having not so good June. And Alejandro Rosario, who missed some time earlier this year with a little injury, he hit for the cycle the other night.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I really think that Frisco's in his future, just because they're going to do these promotions in waves, and I'm willing to bet that if he keeps this up, he'll be a Double-A pretty soon.
Okay, Down East Wood Ducks, again the lowest full season affiliate of the Texas Rangers, and actually moving next year. They're not going to be in Down East.
Yeah, they're going to Spartanburg, South Carolina.
We never got to Down East, but we do need to make a trip.
Too bad for Kinston, but the group that bought him, Diamond, I think Diamond Baseball. It's not Diamond Sports Group, the terrible Bally TV partner of the Rangers. The Rangers sold those 2 A clubs last year to this group. They own a ton of minor league teams. Getting a new stadium. Rangers will remain affiliated with them. They're just moving up the road a little bit, but
they're 2-4 and lost 2.
Yeah. Still pitching first at Down East. Even though they lost 2 amazing guys in Rosario and Drake, Jose Gonzalez, 2.35 ERA. David Davalillo, who took a no-hitter into the 7th the other night, has a 1.49 ERA. The thing that's good about him, obviously, strikeout to walks, 55 strikeouts, 14 walks, and 54 1/3 innings. Jose Gonzalez, 75 strikeouts, 9 walks in 53 2/3 innings. He has a little bit higher average against 224, but that's because he's in the strike zone.
Right.
Guys who are in the strike zone are going to give up hits. It's why Greg Maddux never threw a no-hitter.
Yeah.
He's doing right. He's doing exactly what the Rangers want him to do. He's a little bit older. I would not be surprised at all to see him in Hickory here in the next couple 3 weeks.
Let's also remember that my guy, Isaac Tiger,
that's right,
is back with Down East finally.
Yeah, he pitched. He had a pretty good workload in Arizona to make sure that everything was fine. And so he is he's going to be debuting for them soon. Also going from the complex league to down east was Adonis Villavicencio, who was the Rangers reliever of the month for May. He didn't give up a run for 18 innings. He goes to Hickory. It's a little bit different animal. Gave up a run.
To Hickory or Down East?
I'm sorry, to Down East.
Yeah.
Gave up a run in his high A debut. He's a little bit older. Be interesting to see if he can replicate what he did against the kids in Arizona, against some older kids in high A.
Well, speaking of Arizona Complex League, they're going to be ending it next month, and also the DSL, who are both kicking some ass down there.
Yeah, the Arizona Complex League team is in first place in its division. Pablo Guerrero had a 3-run double, walk-off double last night. He is hitting 290. You might have heard this before, but the Guerrero family can hit.
Yes,
I think there's one guy named Vladimir Guerrero who's in the Hall of Fame, and
there's another one named Vladimir Guerrero too. But he's a junior.
He is, but he's quite a hitter in the major leagues in his own right.
And he used to pick on a guy, probably as Vladimir. He used to pick on the one that's playing in the Rangers. Right?
Probably,
yeah.
And Pablo wasn't a ballyhooed prospect. I think the Rangers got him for $100,000, but he's producing at the complex league, and that's good. And then the two teams in Arizona, the red team. I'm not in Arizona. In the Dominican Summer League, the red team, the blue team,
both got winning record.
Are both in first place in their divisions. The red team has won 8 in a row. They're 14-4. They're the team that has the 3 top signees from the January class.
They try to split it up evenly.
Yeah. We've heard that before. But Curly Martha, who was not the big signee, but he got the second biggest bonus. The big one was Paulino Santana. And then Yolfran Castillo has been the best. He's hitting .431. He's mixed in some extra base hits, which if he's going to make his way to low A at the end of the year, these guys are all candidates for that. He needed to show a little more pop, and it looks like he's doing that. So, good things throughout the system. And that's usually the case with the Rangers.
Well, speaking of good things throughout the system, when we talk to Finstermaker and when we talk to Josh Bonifay, one of the guys they said to keep an eye on, even though they're not getting as much, it's just not been talked about just because they haven't he doesn't have a 0.4 ERA and whatever. But they all said, ignore what you're saying. Mitch BRATT is the guy that you need to watch. This guy is still higher on our radar, and he's not getting talked about, but y'all can't ignore him. And that was just me asking who is somebody we need to watch, and both of them said it. Well, guess what? He's joining us right after this. Okay, guys, and joining us from Greenville, South Carolina, it's our favorite Canadian baseball player who's now with the Texas Rangers. Left-hand pitcher Mitch BRATT. Mitch, what's going on, buddy?
Not much. Thank you guys for having me. Looking forward to this.
Hey, Greenville's like one of the nicest parks, right? That's what everybody says.
We thoroughly enjoy coming here. It's right downtown. There's a lot going on. So tend to take the early bus that day, walk around, get a coffee, and come back to the field. So it's a nice little area, nice spot.
That's good. Good to hear. And you pitched last night, 7 innings, gave up 2 runs, tough luck loss, but you're pitching a lot better. What has kind of turned in your favor here since maybe early in the season?
I'd say the biggest thing was just finding a consistent arm path and mechanics. So that's the biggest thing. I talked with Julio, our pitching coach here in Hickory, and beginning of the year, he kind of let me do my own thing, and then he's like, "Here's what I got," and we kind of came together, came in agreement on some things, and then things honestly just took off from there. Some pitch usage, a little bit differences there, and just being consistent with my mechanics and just throwing everything as hard as I possibly can. That was the other big thing, because I found towards the beginning of the year, it's like, oh, I'm going to put this here, put my fastball here, put my cutter slider here, and he's just like, no, throw it. I was like, all right, let me try that, and sure enough, it started working. So it was pretty cool to see.
It's it's pretty interesting. We had Jordan Teagues on a couple weeks ago, and he was talking about how they just really want these guys, you included, to pitch to your strength and just do it awesome. And
Right.
you've always thrown strikes and had success, but it just seems like maybe things have changed a little bit. It seems like it's kind of simple.
Mm-hmm.
Really.
Yeah, it's funny how complex baseball can be, in a sense. It's like, oh, you got to chase this number, chase this metric, etc. But it's like strike one, strike two, strike three.
Yeah.
When you're really dumbing it down to its like simple forms.
Okay, froze just a second.
Every hitter misses. Oh, all right. Let me see if I do this.
Are you on their Wi-Fi?
Oh,
You're frozen. I don't know if you can see us.
Are you on their Wi-Fi?
Oh,
Mitch?
Are you on their Wi-Fi?
oh shoot! Hold on one second.
We can hear you.
All right, one sec.
He froze again. These hotel Wi-Fi suck.
Is that him?
Yeah, he's trying to click something. What if he's on his phone? It looks like he's on his phone. So.
Oh, sorry.
There you go.
Are you on the hotel Wi-Fi?
Yeah, the Wyndham Wi-Fi I'm sure isn't as good as the Four Seasons Wi-Fi. So. The service isn't that great either.
Are you on your phone or on a computer?
I'm on my phone. Would it be easier if I went on my computer, do you think?
No, I think it might be easier if you went to data and got off of.
Okay. I tried that, but service. Can you see me now? I'm on my data.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Sorry.
Okay. Well, why don't we...
Let's just start it over.
No. I'll just ask the last question. Okay. What was the last question?
You said something about Teagues. Said something.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Here we go. So we had Jordan Teagues on a couple weeks ago, and he talked about how with all the guys, and yourself included, that they just want you to go to your strengths and just execute the heck out of those. Mm-hmm. And that seems pretty simple. It seems like that's kind of common sense stuff.
Right. Yeah. So that's like one of the biggest. Oh my God.
You're good.
You're good.
Froze again. Oh. I'm sorry. So like one of the biggest things that they tell us is like pitch to your strengths. Like if you really dumb it down, it's just strike one, strike two, strike three. So at the beginning of the year, we would get reports going over every hitter, their strengths, their weaknesses. And I feel like I kind of got thinking about that a little bit too much. And that could have definitely played a factor into why things didn't go as well in the beginning.
Okay. Hey, you've changed venues. The wireless wasn't working for you there, the hotel. So while wireless and data technology is beyond my scope, it seems like the pitching thing, though, has been simplified. We talked to Jordan Teagues, and he wants you guys just focusing on your strengths. Was that refreshing to hear?
Yeah, most definitely was. Because in the beginning of the year, it was very much pitched to the hitter's weaknesses. And we would get reports going over, like, here's what you need to do to this hitter, here's how to execute him, every little pitch, every little detail. And it's this long report that we'd get. And it got to the point where it was like, I'm following this thing to a T, trying to do my best. And then it's like, I still got to go out there and compete. Like, I still got to go out there and pitch and, like, pitch to my strengths, but I'm pitching to his weaknesses. And then one of the weeks, it just became, we all sat down for the meeting. I'll never forget it. We sat down with the meeting, and our pitching coach was just strike one, strike two, strike three. And we all walked out, and we're like, what's going on? Like, this is a little different. And then from that point on, I started doing my own scouting report, going over it little by little. So all I look for is just hitters swing and miss with the fastball. So just looking in different areas like the tendency to miss, fastball up, fastball away, and that's all I look for because I know the slider, changeup, and cutter are all very cookie cutter for the most part to hitters.
Yeah, Mike Maddox, you've probably heard of him, and his brother. They are big believers that the best pitch in baseball is strike one outside corner on the knees, and that's a pretty good. It worked pretty well for both of them, and I think it's worked pretty well for the Rangers. How is your fastball? The velocity has always been there. Are you happy with the progress of that pitch?
Yeah, the progress has definitely been better so far this year. As I talked about earlier, trying to get more consistent, like throwing everything harder, throwing everything with more confidence, conviction. The velo started to trend up. So yesterday, I believe I was like 90, 91, 95, starting to consistently get more in that range and just continue to trend upwards. The last thing you want to do is start to decline, especially halfway through the season. So just trying to keep up with that and trying to hopefully hit a 96 next outing and just continue to raise that ceiling and raise that floor.
Yeah, last year, you dealt with some various ailments. Did you do anything different this offseason to avoid that this year?
I'd say the biggest thing was just doing a little bit more prep before throwing. This off season, even though my off season was cut a little bit shorter because of the fall league. So I had to spend a little less time at home and spend a little less time off throwing wise. So just managing that load and not overdoing it in the first 2 weeks back. Because like everyone else would get a month off, and then I had maybe 2 weeks off, if I remember correctly, when Teague and I talked. He's like, how much time do you want off? I was like, I don't know, you tell me. So he's like, all right, we'll do 2 weeks. And then, so just managing that and being smart with it, not overdoing in the beginning, taking it step by step. Like the 60 feet days, keep them light. And then especially now, where we're halfway through the season, just trying to stay consistent with my throwing schedule here as well. Like don't overdo it on your light days, keep them light. Your bullpen days, keep them moderate, and then on your heavy days, of course, throw heavy and throw a lot more. So, trying to stay consistent.
Last year, also you pitched for Team Canada, so you had to ramp up sooner. And then you had,
and then, long year last year.
and then you got to face Team USA.
Right.
It might not have gone as well as you had hoped. What's your takeaway from that experience now that it's been more than a year since it happened?
It took a lot to get over and realize, it took a lot to get over and put things into perspective. Like at first everyone was like, oh, like, that outing, blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, and I just kept dismissing it. And then once it hit like the 1 year mark, I remember talking with my mom and she's like, all right, it's been a year. Live in the past. I was like, love that. So no, just and flip the mindset of a more so learning experience than looking at it than what happened. Like I could depict every little thing and be like, oh, I should have done this, should have done that. But then put it into perspective, it's like I faced probably 6 or 7 Hall of Famers and get to face that experience and have that experience. And especially even with the Rangers mental performance side, they were all great talking to me. Like they didn't come up to me right away and was like, what do you got? Like they let me come to them and we like slowly started to pick at it and talk through it. And now it's just one of those things you look back, laugh, and it's like, all right, well, hopefully a few years from now I get that opportunity again and can pitch a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. You're probably the only guy in the Carolina or the South Atlantic League who has faced Mike Trout. and Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado.
Yeah, it was funny. We were walking outside of our clubhouse, and there was some like autograph seekers out there, and they're just trying to make small talk. And the one guy goes, "So who's the hardest hitter you ever faced?" And I'm like signing the card. I go, "Mike Trout," and I just see his eyes go, "Huh?" And then I just walked away and just laughing. And he was like, "Oh." And he didn't know what to say. It was really funny.
I've heard of him.
Yeah. No, I mean, I appreciated that you called me the next day and talked about it. And, it's one thing that I've learned as a reporter, when pitchers get to the major leagues, they are at their locker. They're the most accountable people on the team, and they will address the good starts and give credit to the defense and the catcher, and the bad starts. It's all on them.
Yep.
There's nothing that a guy could have made 9 errors behind him, and the pitcher will not throw the guy under the bus. They are the best teammates, at least at the media. So good for you. You were 19 at the time. That was a mature, a very let's grow up moment. So I appreciate it on that end.
Sure.
Well, the USA team praised him a lot. Said, "Man, can you imagine what that kid had to do?" They all gave you credit and said, "Look, you put him in an impossible situation, a 19-year-old to come face this lineup. What were you going to expect?" I mean, this was a 19-year-old kid who threw good, throws hard, but I mean, he's still learning. He's coming up.
Yeah, you threw a lot of strikes.
Yeah.
So hey,
yeah,
take positives.
One too many.
So what are your goals here the rest of the season? Do you look at Frisco? I know Winston just got promoted and Skylar just got promoted.
Yeah.
You've been at Hickory now for this is your second season. Do you look ahead to pitching in Frisco, or do you just say I got to compete here and that'll take care of itself?
To be completely honest, just living in the moment. I found during the fall league last year, I got a little bit too ahead of myself. Like I had the first. Me and Zach Kent actually had the first start. I piggybacked after him. I was like, okay, just go out there, pitch well, and then see where it goes, see what happens in the fall league. And then sure enough, I mean, things went well and towards the end, but in the beginning it did not go well. And from that point on, I just told myself I'm just going to live in the moment, live pitch by pitch, and let the results and let whatever happens take care of itself. So going forward for the rest of the year, the biggest thing for me, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, go finish. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was saying the biggest thing for me going forward for the rest of the season is just to stay healthy. The past year and a half, I got hurt just after the All-Star break. So just doing what I can to stay healthy, stay off the IL, and just continue to eat up as many innings as I can, because I feel like the more innings I'll throw, the results will take care of themselves after that. So just trying to stay with that mindset, not get too ahead of myself. Yes, it's definitely crossed my mind a time or two, but just trying to stay level-headed and live in the moment.
Well, we talked to both Josh Bonifay and we talked to Ross Fenstermaker. One of the questions I always ask them is okay, we know who top prospects are. We know who everyone is, and you're a top prospect, but I asked, who's somebody nobody's talking about right now that we need to watch or whatever, and both of them, without hesitation, said, who's not getting talked about that we still need to watch because what's happening right now is good? It's Mitch Bratt, and they both said that. And so we were like, well, we've watched your numbers. They've been fine or whatever, but I think they thought, ignore those numbers. What he's doing right now, we're happy with. And it was a very big praise coming from the head of the minor league system and Ross Fenstermaker, head of player development.
Yeah. So you're doing good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
You also got a birthday coming up.
I do. 6 days from now, I'm scheduled to pitch.
The last time we had you on the show, it was almost your birthday too.
That's right. Yeah.
I think you were turning 19. You're turning 21. 19. This is a big one. 21's a big one.
This is a big one. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Are you gonna crack open a
beer,
a Molson or
my first legal beer in this country, I should say.
Well, legal. That's an important distinction. There's an important distinction there.
Hey, you're young. Just take it slow. You only need one or two. Kids tend to just go crazy.
I think you have to start the day after, right?
No, I have to start the day of. So I'm starting on the 3rd. So
okay.
So wait till after the game.
It'll be perfect. It'll be perfect.
Yeah. Hit the gas station on the way home. Oh yeah.
Gas station. Go to a bar.
Yeah, you got to belly up to a bar and get you a brew.
It's funny. All my teammates, we've been talking. It's funny because they joke. They're like, "Oh, you're finally turning 21." Finally, I was like, "Yeah, it's about time." They're like, "Yeah, it feels like forever." I'm like, "It does feel like forever since all that." So it's really funny.
Well, I mean, you've always been young, obviously. one other young guy, and then we can get you out of here. What do you see from Sebastian Walcott?
He's matured quite a bit the past 2 months. At the beginning of the year, he was getting blown up a little bit. He was getting frustrated. Like, things weren't going his way, and you could see, like, especially with an 18-year-old, you're going to be able to tell maturity-wise that things aren't going his way. So luckily, we had a few older guys here to mentor him a little bit, talk him through it. I remember there was like a Sunday game, like the first month of the season, and he was really going through it. His locker was right beside mine, and we're at home. So I talked to him a little bit, just joking around, like, things will turn around. You're 18 years old, don't worry. And then he figured it out. I don't know, swing adjustment, whatever it may have been, mentally, I don't know, but he's swinging a hot bat right now, and we really need him in the lineup. And I think the biggest maturity piece that I saw from him was actually yesterday, where he went 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts, and after the game, he was the exact same guy that he was when he went 4 for 4 and had, like, few hard hit balls, footballs that found some holes. Like, he's just the same guy, and he's starting to finally learn that it's a long season. It's not just one bad day is going to ruin a week. It's like, no, you get to, as a hitter, you get to hit again tomorrow. Like, if I pitch bad, I have to wait a whole week. Like, you're lucky. You get to try again tomorrow. So, yeah, I'm proud of him. He's a really good dude.
Yeah, we had Josh Young on our major league show, and that's something he talked about. He said the other day he went 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts, but he knew he was playing the next day.
Josh Smith.
Josh Smith. I always do that. And anyway, there's a lot to that. You have to be mature enough to know that, hey, tomorrow's a new day.
Yeah,
it's that simple. It's that simple. So.
Well, listen, man, it's so great that you stopped down to talk to us. I mean, I know you guys got a busy schedule. You're on the road right now. And you've got. It sounds like you've got grocery carts behind you going.
Shopping carts. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Who, I got to ask this. A while ago, when we were trying to deal with when you were in the hotel room, you were trying to deal with it. Looked like Bigfoot walked behind you. Who's your roommate?
It's Michael Brewer.
Okay.
He walked in behind you, and it was like a Bigfoot sighting that walked around it. So we're giving Michael Brewer a little shout out there.
He recently shaved his head, so looks like a different guy. So it's funny. He wanted to switch things up. So
it's time for the summertime cut for him.
All
right.
Me too. There we go. All right, guys, that's Mitch Bratt. Mitch, thanks for joining us, and buddy, we'll catch you down the road.
Sir, thank you guys for having me. Thank you very much.
Happy birthday too.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Hey, how's your dad doing? Good?
He's good, yeah. He mentioned he wanted to say hi. He says he listens to all the episodes. Big fan of yours. So I told him yesterday that I was doing this.
Tell him to send me a new email. I think his email keeps getting bounced. Make sure he's getting the emails.
Okay. Yeah, I will.
If he's not, I want to make sure he is. So
you got Jeff's number, right? He's got your number.
He's got my number.
Yeah. Get him the number. Tell him to text it to us. Do anything. We will make sure. We like the parents a lot. We like to keep up with them and and do that.
Yeah, sweet, good stuff.
Okay. All right, man.
See you, man.
Have a good one.
Sorry about the issues earlier.
That's how
it's not your fault.
We had one episode with Nathaniel Lowe in Seattle that was awful.
Yeah, he did the same thing. It was
a nightmare.
Yeah.
So,
oh really? Oh damn.
Yeah. So you just had to go across
all
the
best,
street.
guys.
All right.
See you,
Thanks,
Mitch.
Mitch.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Big thanks to Josh Hatcher and Mitch Bratt for joining us in Rangers Minor League Roundup episode 4. Guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down there at the bottom. You see what's scrolling across the bottom. That's Rangers Today. We cover you from the big leagues all the way down to the bus leagues, all the way through it. And this show is the new thing we're going to do every couple of weeks. So, guys, we've got one more in the can. That's 4. Until next time, see you at the yard.